Hey, it's Nathan with OptionsForL.com. In this video, I'm going to go over my options trading results for the week ending January 9th, 2026. Now, the tool I'm using to review my options trades is found at tool.optionsforl.com or optionsforl.com, or a link in the description down below if you're interested. But also, I do want to point out that I'm not making these numbers up. I do have a Robinhood account right here, and I have other videos showing you my Robinhood account. So even though I'm doing all the analysis in our options tracking dashboard, doesn't mean like I'm making things up. So I just wanted to show you. I got a bunch of trades open that you can see right here, and you can see my account value as well. So just showing you that these are real numbers. All right, so here we are in the options tracking dashboard, and I just want to go to last week. So we'll just go to the last 7 days right here and take a look at how this week wound up. Now we'll take a look at the positions that I closed, the positions that I opened, and then we'll look at some of my open positions to see what I might need to pay attention to in the next week or two, and also what I'm going to do next week for options trading. All right, so anyway, here we are looking at my last week. We can see that my current live P&L is $1,254.53. I realized $1,268.55 last week. I have one position still open from last week, 100% win rate, and there's my cash balance. I'm on margin right now, and my daily breakdown. So I realized everything on Friday, and my strategy performance right here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at my closed positions for this past week. So I closed 4 different positions this week. I closed an IBIT covered call, an MSTR covered call, another IBIT covered call that I rolled from last week, and I also closed out an iron Condor on SPY right here. Let's go ahead and start at the top one, my IBIT covered call. This is the same covered call that I opened on Monday right here. You can see that I opened a covered call on Monday for IBIT, so I'm just going to open up that particular position, and we can see what happened. So I entered it on Monday and sold to open 9 contracts at 37 cents, the $55 strike price with the expiration of Friday. Now, I wanted to open up 18 contracts, but IBIT and Bitcoin bounced pretty good on Monday, and things were looking quite frothy. So I didn't jump headfirst into the position. I kind of wanted to wait for things to calm down, but then my work really picked up this week, and I completely forgot that I didn't open the full position that I wanted to. So I only opened up with 9 contracts this week instead of the 18 or 19 that I had originally planned to. So, sometimes life gets in the way, and, I do wish that I did open up with 18 or 19 contracts, because I basically would have doubled my profit right here, but whatever. Still a pretty good return in a week right there. All right, so the other IBIT covered call position, this is one that I rolled from last week. So let's open that up and take a look at what happened. So right here is my roll chain history, and you can see a summary of the entire position right here. Basically, I opened up a position with an expiration of January 2nd with a 51.50 strike price. And on January 2nd, it was kind of getting close to the 51.50, and I just didn't want to risk it getting a sign. So I went ahead and rolled it out another week. So from January 2nd to January 9th. And I also rolled the strike price up as well from 51.50 to 53.50. And you can see both of my positions, I did net a profit. So 53.61 and now 359.79. So my entire roll chain profit and loss was $413.40. But this week I basically brought in $359.79. And that position was for 9 contracts as well at 40 cents. And my strike was 53.50 with the Friday expiration. So that's that position. Now next week I do intend to open up another IBIT covered call, hopefully for 18 to 19 contracts. But we'll see what Bitcoin's doing this weekend and how it opens on Monday, and we'll make a call from there. Up next we have MSTR. So I'm doing a poor man's covered call on MSTR. I have a leaps option on MSTR in June of 2027. We'll take a look at that in just a minute here. And this particular position is a covered call on top of that leaps position. And I sold to open 1 contract at $1.51, $170 strike price, and it expired worthless. So I got to keep my full $150.97. So that turned out to be a good trade, and I plan to open up another covered call on MSTR this week coming up. And finally, my SPY iron Condor closed out in profit, and I did close this one a little early. I didn't get all 100% return out of it. I just got 95.2%, and that's because SPY started kind of ripping towards the end of the day on Friday, and I didn't think it was going to come up to 710, but we were getting close to it, and I didn't want, any of my options to be assigned or anything like that. So I just went ahead and closed out. My goal on these Iron Condors is to earn $400 a week. So every week I'm opening up another Iron Condor position against SPY. It's usually 3 contracts and about 45 days out, with the goal of earning that $400 to $500 a week. And so the position that I opened up on December 8th, I was able to close out on January 9th. And I just realized that I closed it a week early. And so that's why I didn't earn all 100%, because I closed it a week early. So I think locking in a 95% return is pretty good. And it wasn't worth holding another week to eke out, another 4.8%. And so that was my SPY Iron Condor that closed out this week. Now, I did open another SPY Iron Condor. You can see right here, I opened it on Monday, and you can take a look at the stats right here. I received a credit of $461.48, but currently I'm down about $14.02, or a negative 3% return. You can see my legs and everything right here. So my short call is at 7:15. My short put is at 6:60, and the expiration date is February 20th. So hopefully SPY stays in that range come February 20th. Otherwise, I might need to take some action. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and chart a graph on SPY. So I'm going to click this little icon right here, and it opens up our chart analysis tool, which is a free tool that we have. You can find it at chart.optionsforall.com, or link in the description down below. But what it does is it lets you generate a chart for a specific target date. So in this case, February 20th, that's when this option expires, and you can enter your stock ticker symbol here. We also support, Bitcoin or ETH and so on. So if you want to chart the different cryptos, you could go ahead and do that, and you would click generate, and it generates a chart, and then we can go ahead and use AI to analyze this chart. So it's a technical analysis of the chart. I'm going to go ahead and click that button real quick, and it takes about 2 minutes in order for the analysis to run. And AI finished its analysis as well. Thinks it's going to go to 708.50, which is right in the range that I want, between 715 and 660. So hopefully, that remains true, and I get to keep my entire credit for this particular Iron Condor. All right, so I'll close out of that, and I'm going to move over to my open positions to look and see what's expiring soon, and see if I need to pay attention or maybe make some decisions this week coming up. All right, so open positions, and I can see that I have one of my SPY Iron Condors expiring on 23 Jan. Again, I closed out the one that's expiring next Friday. I closed that one out early, so I don't have anything expiring next week, at least not until I open up my trades on Monday. Again, I'm going to do a covered call for IBIT and also a covered call on MSTR. And both of those with an expiration of Friday. I don't really like picking long expirations on IBIT and MSTR because they're so volatile, and so much can change in 40, 45 days, that I like the shorter DTEs on MSTR and IBIT. But for SPY and Iron Condors, I push it out 40, 45 days. So that way I can get a large credit and also take advantage of the theta decay. So nothing closing this week that I need to really pay a lot of attention to, but we'll take a look at a couple things. So my Iron Condor right here, I have a $700 short call and a $655 put. SPY is sitting at $694.07 right now. So, it's kind of pushing up against my short call, and I might need to take some action against it. Currently, I have a positive return of 76.22, so I definitely need to monitor this one. If SPY starts creeping up, I might need to take some action and maybe either roll out, or I might just close it out. So I'll pay attention to it and see what happens as the week continues on. I have another one expiring the week after that, and this one has a 705 short call, so we're getting a little close to it at $694. And also, there's about 2 or 3 weeks until that expiration date. So I got to monitor this one, and same concept on my next Iron Condor. I got a 710 short call, so about $15 to go. But it also expires in like 4 weeks. So I got some stuff to monitor on this position. Now, if the AI analysis is correct, on February 20th, it's only going to be 708.50. So I'd be just fine in this particular position, but something I need to keep an eye on. All right, so there's the Iron Condors. Let me move down, see if anything else looks fishy. I do have this cash secured put on IBIT. It's basically my riskiest position right now. It's a $59 short put, and the price of IBIT is $51.16. So it's about $8 in the money, which is not good for a short position. I've been monitoring my extrinsic value as well, and I know I'm probably going to have to take some action unless Bitcoin and IBIT bounce really well, coming up here. but I'm keeping an eye on that extrinsic value. If it drops below 20 cents, I'll probably go ahead and roll that position out. I am going to keep it alive because I feel pretty good about Bitcoin and IBIT coming back. And I don't want to cut my losses just yet. You can also see that I've rolled this position a few times. I've had 2 rolls, and my entire roll chain profit and loss is negative $4,632. So this entire position has been pretty rough, but I've been monitoring it. And again, I've been doing my own research and analysis on Bitcoin and IBIT, and I feel confident in it coming back at some point. But again, I'm monitoring that extrinsic value and will take action if it gets to about 20 cents or so. Moving on, I have another cash secured put with a 20 March expiration. It's $53 short put, so it's a lot less in the money than my $59 short put on IBIT. And I have another one expiring in May at $54 short put that I'm also monitoring. And you can see that I've rolled this particular position 4 times. And this roll chain is also negative. Basically, all of my roll chains are negative. So maybe I need to check on what I'm doing with my rolls. Or maybe I'm just too optimistic on Bitcoin and IBIT. But more on that in another video. And then we get into my leaps positions. I have 4 leaps options. 3 of them are on IBIT, so 1, 2, 3. And they're all negative right now because Bitcoin and IBIT have not been doing super well. But again, I'm bullish, perma-bull on Bitcoin. And my MSTR leap that I opened up last week is about even right now. So I do have about 1.5 years for it to come up, so I'm not real worried about it. As you can tell, my portfolio is quite heavy into Bitcoin and Bitcoin doing well between IBIT and MSTR, but I do have some SPY stuff going on as well because I do want to be a little diversified at least. Now I want to go back to our chart analyzer and take a look at MSTR and IBIT on this upcoming week. We'll see what the almighty AI thinks is going to happen based off of reading a chart. So let's come back here and do a new analysis. And I want to go ahead and do the 16th of January, and we'll go with MSTR, and we'll go ahead and analyze the chart. And let me open up another one, and we'll do IBIT. Now they should go pretty close to hand in hand. We'll see what the charts say. So IBIT and generate. So again, I'm opening positions on these 2 ticker symbols on Monday. So I just want to see what to expect this upcoming week according to the charts and the AI analyzing the chart. All right, so the technical analysis on MSTR is bearish. It's looking like a downturn of about 1.8% is projected, which would put it at 154.50. So that would be good for my covered call position, but not very good for my leaps position. And you can see all the technical indicators and chart patterns and potential scenarios and overall bias. So it gives you a breakdown of why it thinks what it thinks. Let me come over to IBIT now and see what it thinks about IBIT. This is also bearish, so that kind of makes sense. MSTR is kind of like a levered Bitcoin play. And of course, IBIT is a Bitcoin ETF, so it makes sense that they're bearish. I should plug Bitcoin in here as well and see if that's bearish too. But we can see that it's projected to drop about 0.63% down to 50.85, which would be good for my covered call positions, but not very good for my cash secured puts or my leaps position. So I kind of need Bitcoin and IBIT to go up, but time will tell. We will see what happens. All right, the very last thing I want to go ahead and do is have AI look at my open positions and see if it can identify anything I might have missed. So I'm going to go to analysis, and I'm going to go to AI open positions, and I'm going to go ahead and have it generate a brand new report on my open positions, and we'll see what AI thinks I should do in the next few weeks, so we'll see what it says. Alrighty, so the analysis is finished running, and this is what I should pay attention to. So my immediate action items: critical, expiring in 12 days, January 23rd, 2026. I have my SPY Iron Condor that I entered on December 15th. It's $76.22 in profit. Now, its recommended action is to close it now and lock in the 76.22 profit, and it gives me some reasons why. So it represents a 29% return in 38 days, which is an excellent result. Don't be greedy. You're in danger zone with the short call at the money. Execute before Monday if possible to avoid weekend gap risk. Well, it's already the weekend. But it also shows right here, with 12 days to expiration, Gamma is accelerating at 3.08% per $1 move. A move above 700 could quickly turn this winner into a loser. So we looked at that and we said that, it was kind of close and that I might need to take some action. Then I have another Iron Condor, $14.70 in profit. It says to monitor through January 20th. And it gives me a few things to monitor. It says watch 705 is your critical level. If SPY approaches 702, 703, consider closing early. Okay, that makes sense. Attention needed in the money assignment risk. Here's that IBIT $59 cash secured put where I am currently down on that particular position, $1,204, and I have 40 days till expiration. We're deep in the money. There's my delta at a negative 0.824, which is nearly certain assignment at expiration. And it also alerts me to the fact that my roll chain is down $4,632.67. So yeah, it's got some recommended actions. Option A, recommended, accept assignment. Option B, roll out and down. Option C, cut the loss. And its overall recommendation is option C, to close and move on. And like I said previously, I'm bullish on Bitcoin and IBIT, so I'm going to wind up rolling it if I need to. But I'm monitoring that extrinsic value to drop below 20 cents before I do anything with it. So a few things I need to watch, position by position recommendation. So I could go through and read all this stuff, but I don't want to, make this video super duper long. I just wanted to show you some of the key elements that AI thinks I should focus on and everything like that. So we can see my long call positions right here. It's saying, hold them. I got plenty of time. And then we get into my MSTR position, $100 call, down $2.52, action to hold that. And we got my SPY covered call, and it has a few different options. And we have its recommendation to close the call for $1,542 and immediately sell the July or September $700 call for a $2,000 credit and a $458 improvement. Now that's basically rolling because I'm closing and opening another position. So I don't know exactly why it separated out. Close the call and keep the shares and roll out and up. But anyway, moving on to portfolio risk summary. So overall exposure and everything else like that. We have data decay analysis, priority action list this week. And finally, we get to the summary of the AI analysis right here. And so that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you found it semi-interesting. Hopefully seeing somebody else's options trades and portfolio is semi-educational or maybe comforting to see somebody else going through, a similar process as yourself. And again, if you're interested in checking out this tool, you can go to optionsforall.com or tool.optionsforall.com or link in the description down below. And that's it. I hope you have a great rest of the day.